Immigrating to a new country can be quite challenging for anyone, most especially for Africans who particularly have a higher chance of being shocked in the new country they are migrating to. Hence, the reason why I will be sharing the pros and the cons in immigrating to the West. Thank you for joining me today. My name is Adedayo. Welcome to my channel. This is These Impressions, my impression about everything and everything. Today, I'm just going to be addressing something very important to discuss about. I know that a lot of people who are still back home in Africa might be thinking how life is as an African immigrant living in Canada or living anywhere abroad. And today's topic is just going to be addressing that in totality because of the differences or disparities in culture, sometimes language, government systems, the economic system, and a whole lot of other factors. African migrants or immigrants might find it challenging to be able to stabilize themselves or assimilate into a new country. So, guys, if this is something that you would be interested in listening to, please stay till the end of the video to get the gist of this discussion. And don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to my channel. You know how it is. We're trying to hit 10,000 subscribers this year. We can do it, right? Canada, most especially, has opened its doors to many immigrants coming from different parts of the world: Asians, Africans, Arabs, you can name it. We are all in Canada. The first thing that I have on my list as one of the challenges that we might face as Africans is the economy. Coming from a Nigerian POV, Nigerian point of view, the economy in Nigeria is quite centralized. It is more based on federal laws, and you get to see that there is no autonomy in power when it comes to the states, when it comes to local government decision making and everything. Most of the time we all still look forward to hearing from the federal government in Abuja to be able to make some certain decisions. And I think that this is one thing that Nigerians have been fighting for so long, in order to have like autonomy in the states so that they will be able to make their own decisions and make some laws for themselves and be able to manage their own resources. Well, the opposite is the case in Canada. Provinces, most of all, have their own ways of doing things. They have a lot of things that they are able to manage by themselves and are not totally dependent on the federal government. In as much as sometimes they actually do wait for resources from the federal government in order to do some certain things, but they're also able to manage their own resources to build the provinces and help the citizens of their province. If you are in a province like Quebec, you get to see that there are a lot of things that are done differently in Quebec. Quebec has its own immigration laws, sometimes different from the other provinces. Quebec is more francophone, we all know that, but the process of naturalizing or the process of regularizing is quite different from other provinces and can be quite tough. So it depends on the province you're in. Ontario is a little bit more liberal and they are very straightforward. Quebec is like this. Moving on, let's leave the economy for now. Let's talk about religion. Back in Africa, religion is a big thing, right? Religion is one part of Africans that you cannot really take away, despite all the scandals and everything that is going on right now, especially. Religion is one very crucial part of our makeup as Africans. Whether our traditional religion or the imported religion, the difference in the West is quite massive because they are not so religious. I really don't know the percentage because I don't know the statistics. I'm not gonna lie. But I know that a lot of people do not take religion to heart like we do as Africans. So that is a very touchy and sensitive topic that the government tries as much as possible not to involve themselves in. You cannot fill forms and see them asking you what religion you belong to. Unlike Africa, when you want to fill forms for anything, you would see a part of the section of the form that's going to request your religion, whether Muslim, whether Christian. And those two are basically just the ones that they would ask you in Africa or in Nigeria. But here in Canada, I've never had to fill any applications I was asked for my religion. Never. So rather than ask for religion, though, they would ask for your sex, whether you're female, shemale, whatever, or you would like to be referred to as something else. The pronouns are so much these days, so they really would want to know which you would prefer to be addressed as. But when it comes to religion, no, 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 no. That is your personal conviction. And you're half there and you tell someone you're an atheist back in Africa, they're going to see you like the devil. But here, no. You have a choice, you have a free right to be religious or not be religious. That does not affect your life. The social system is another thing that baffles me so much about being an African immigrant in Canada. Back in Nigeria, it has always been a very communal system where everybody knows everybody. We're always in each other's businesses. We train and raise our kids together. We dine together, party together. Very important. We go to church together. Sometimes we go to school together. It's more of a communal system. And here it's the opposite. Here everybody minds their business. You just go on doing your own thing. Sometimes you don't even know who your neighbors are. I came from a society where it's the complete opposite, right? You actually want to be able to speak with your neighbor and know who you're living in the same compound with. So the social system is quite reserved. You really don't get to have a lot of friends like that. If you are able to build a community living in Canada, you're very lucky because it is something that's very hard to come by. A lot of other factors that could actually affect you as a Canadian trying to survive and pay your bills and live in this country, that might not even give you the chance or the opportunity to be able to socialize as much as you would like to. That's one of the cons of living in Canada. But if you put in mind that there are other things that you would enjoy as a Canadian, maybe that wouldn't be a big thing. For the things that you're going to enjoy, the pros, I'm just going to put it this way: you're going to enjoy what you're paying for, like electricity. You're going to enjoy your internet. You're paying for it, right? You pay for all those things, but you get to see them. That's the difference between here and Nigeria, where sometimes, well, you pay for it in Nigeria and you pay for it in Africa, and you do not see all those social amenities that you pay for. So that's big difference. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people would actually prefer to live here than to live back in Africa. I'm going to bring tax into this because we get taxed a lot. It's remaining small for them to tax us for breathing. I'm sure that if it's possible for us to be taxed for breathing the air that we breathe that is natural, we would have been taxed for it. And taxation is a big thing here. You cannot escape it. And if you manage to escape it, you cannot live a fulfilled life. You would probably be at the mercy of the government all the time. Not like we're all not at the mercy of the government at this point, but if you are a taxpayer, you're working, you have more opportunities to be able to build yourself up and live a more fulfilling life than if you're at the mercy of the government living on benefits. Then you know how it is. You know how it is. Next is education. One of the things that actually baffles me the most about this place, Canada, most especially, is the educational system. I just feel like it's more slow. The educational system in Nigeria, especially, starts, in fact, at the age of maybe 1.5, 2 years old. As a toddler, you're already in school. You already started learning your ABC, singing all the rhymes, doing all sort of things. And by the time you're 5, you're already in primary 1 or 2. And by the time you're like 9, 10 years old, you're already in secondary school. Well, I got into secondary school when I was 9. I was in JS1. So, yeah, it's quite fast. Unlike here, where you have to be 5 years old or 4 years old before you're even able to start your nursery. And it's just low. To me, to me. Well, I think I prefer the higher institutions here because here you can either go to college to learn some small range courses or go to the university to go for your degree and stuff. But yeah, It's expensive. Cost load is quite cumbersome, and they do a lot of research. So I would choose the higher institutions here over that of Nigeria. But when it comes to raising toddlers or raising preschoolers and all that, I would choose Nigeria over Canada. I know a lot of people might not agree to this, but it's just fact. And when you hear, you would understand better. Next is law and order. The law here is, you know how it is. You don't want to mess with the law here. You don't want to. Like, it is impartial. It treats almost everybody the same. I said almost everybody because, in as much as we believe that the Western system is incorruptible, they still get corrupted. Okay, so I did not say that part very clearly, just so we can avoid some troubles. But yeah, no system is perfect, but you don't want to mess with the law over here. Okay, you don't want to get yourself in any criminal charges because it would be on your file. And you know how it is when it comes to getting jobs here. They will do their security check, and if they find that you have a criminal record, it might stand against you forever. You won't be able to get jobs. Like, it just restricts your life. So you don't want to get into any kind of trouble with the police or with their system in general. As an African immigrant in Canada, we always walk and do things like we're walking on eggshells because we don't want to do anything that's going to jeopardize the reason why we are here. Try to stay away from illegality. Try to stay away from things that can get you into the coven of the policeman or anything like that. Remember, one, you're black. Two, you're an immigrant. Three, I'll keep three for later because three is not so, it will sound like an insult if I say it. I'll keep it for later. You just have to be very, very careful and watch your steps living in Canada as an African immigrant because any little thing can be used against you. And if you are a man, most especially, watch out for the women because sometimes little things can actually get you into the space you don't want to be. Coming back to Africa, Africa we know is a place where we have the laws. Yes, I was a lawyer back in Africa, so I know we have the laws, but the enforcement of the law is quite shaky. So sometimes it suits you, sometimes it doesn't, sometimes nobody cares, sometimes everybody just does what they want, sometimes it's so terrible, sometimes it's good. No, it's not stable. So a lot of things go unchecked, a lot of things go without repercussion, a lot of crimes get committed without anyone, batting an eyelash, giving 2 cents about it. And coming from that kind of society, adjusting to this place can get a little tricky because if you're used to not, really caring about the laws, then now you have to unlearn that and start caring. Just don't mess with the law, okay? The system works. That's one very important thing that pushes us to come here in the first place. But out of all systems that work, there are still flaws and things that needs to be done better. And Canada is no exception. If you are in Canada, especially as a new immigrant, there are some things that you should know beforehand. You should know what the credits system looks like. You should know how to save, how to keep your money, and how to prepare for your retirement because the amount that the government pays at retirement is not so much. It's not at all. I mean, it's something that you have to think about and save towards. It's not something that you can live on. You cannot live on what the government gives for retirement. You can't. You can't survive on it. So RRSPs and some other programs are out there for retirement, for you to prepare for your retirement. And as new immigrant, especially if you got into this country at the age of 30 and above, you have lesser years to work in order to be able to make something reasonable out of the pension that you get through work. So you have to save towards retirement. That's just one aspect of finances. Number two, you want to maybe save to buy a house or save to get a mortgage. And trust me, all of those things don't come easy because surviving here is tough on its own. Having to save towards a project, it's also another ball game entirely. Your career path, all of those things are actually one of the issues that we face as African immigrants living in Canada. Because trust me, it is not an easy journey building a career path in this country. Basically, finances. One thing that I would advise against though is to not get carried away by the credit facilities that you see them advertising or bringing forth to your doorstep. You know, don't get carried away by it. Don't go put your hands in loans, car loans, mortgage loans, all kind of loans, student loans, because these are the things that will keep you stuck in this system, and you would not be able to move forward past the loans, because it's so easy to get trapped. It's so easy to get trapped in the system. It's so easy. You will just keep working. You dare not stop working, because why? You got loans and debts to pay. So be careful the kind of decisions you make, especially when it comes to money. You have to be detailed and manage your finances very well for you to be able to enjoy the system. At this point, I'm going to stop this video. I'll do a part two if it is necessary. Thank you for watching. Thank you for staying till the end. I'll see you in my next video. Don't forget, this is Adi Dio. See you guys in my next one. Bye.